This question comes from an anonymous viewer who asks, what can someone of the warrior mindset do? Seems at odds with your practice, but I'm admittedly ignorant, finding peace while preparing for war.
Who's going to answer this, friends? Somebody's coming up who's feeling a little nervous and kind of saying, "Easy, boys, the dirty dealer meant no harm."
That's
like
the feeling.
That old M&M's candy commercial saying, "Things have gotten confused here. This isn't what we said to do." They're saying first, many people who are actually bullies are calling themselves warriors.
That's true.
And to not be one of those people. First, make a choice to not be one of those people. Decide strongly to not be a bully.
That's true.
To be a warrior is not the same as being a bully. And so peaceful warriors must meditate, or it's impossible. You've absolutely got to meditate. It's not an optional activity for you. There are many different schools of meditation in the Western world, coming from mainstream Western society. Often the most accessible method, the one that is easiest for you to relate to, is mindfulness-based stress reduction, taught it was originally taught by John Kabat-Zinn out of, I believe, the University of Massachusetts. However, it's now widely taught. So mindfulness-based stress reduction is a meditation package, a package of meditation techniques that you might find very helpful. And if you wish to work more directly with it, then we suggest Buddhist meditation, particularly Theravada meditation, and that will help you. But many people find that a little inaccessible, whereas the mindfulness-based stress reduction is something that more people are willing to do.
That's true.
And now, friend, to understand that there are important tasks for those who are wishing to be true warriors.
This is that same godly presence who's speaking in that room.
Yes. I'd like to figure out, I don't know who it is. Thank you for clarifying. Yes, the same godly presence is continuing and has some affiliation with the Christ presence for planet Earth.
That's true.
And is saying that there have been things that have been said that were taken out of context and twisted, and as a result what seems to happen is many people who were born to be warriors have become just roving bands of bullies, and it's such a perversion of what was supposed to happen that it's hard to know where to even start to detangle it. However, that having been said, the warrior is supposed to stand up for the underdog. The warriors are supposed to defend the oppressed. They're supposed to speak for the voiceless. In this case, given that humanity has already offed more than 50% of the rest of life on Earth, it would seem that it's incumbent upon the warriors to start to stand up to the power elite and say, we've got to start changing our ways. This isn't okay.
That's true.
This isn't okay. This is God's planet, not our planet. This is God's planet, not our planet. We have been charged with the responsibility of stewardship for the planet, and we've done anything but that as a species, as a collective. And so the warriors are supposed to be people with courage. People with courage are supposed to stand up for the oppressed, stand between the bullied and the bully, and say, no, you're not going to bully this person, place, or thing.
That's true.
Now it's being twisted so that the warriors are saying, you shall not bully people like me.
Yeah.
And that's being a bully. That's bullying. That's being a bully. Standing up for someone who is different from us. That's being a warrior. And if you don't meditate, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between the way those two situations feel.
That's true.
You've got to develop some awareness of your inner world so that you can discern the difference. So our advice to you would be, take up a meditation practice and then consciously look for situations of oppression and stand up for the oppressed, and particularly look for situations where the oppressed is somebody as different from you as you could possibly imagine. In this case, immigration is a huge issue, and so consider standing up for the immigrants. They're
That's
different, right? That would be one thing you could do. Go to the southern border of the U.S. Somebody's pointing to the Standing Rock situation and how there was a band of ex-veterans, or they can't be ex-veterans, a band of veterans who went to Standing Rock to stand with the Standing Rock Sioux.
That's true.
Against the U.S. Army, and the U.S. Army pulled a little, feint maneuver, F-E-I-N-T maneuver, and the veterans went home. And why they did that is a mystery, but then the Army did in fact bully the Sioux, stole their land again, and put a pipeline where the Sioux said, "This is sacred land to us."
That's true.
So that would have been an example of when a warrior type could have stood up for the oppressed against the oppressor. And there's something happening right now on our southern borders. It's very similar, and that would be another opportunity if you wanted to go stand up for the immigrants who are being abused by our own country's power structure. That would be one way. Does this answer the question? Somebody's saying there's going to be arguments that these are political views, but friends, this is it's somebody affiliated with Christ, and I can't quite tell who it is, but I can feel the link, really strong link.
No, that's true.
And they're saying you've misunderstood what we said. Actually, they're saying, "Easy boys, the dirty dealer meant no harm." So probably they said something in a twisted way, and now it's being completely misinterpreted. And what's happening is the presences who are supposed to stand up for the oppressed have instead become the roving bands of bullies, and that's not right. And that person, they told a lie. And Mother Mary, whose actual name is Miriam, and we're supposed to call her Miriam, and
that's true.
I apologize for not calling her Miriam just now.
That's true.
Miriam said it doesn't matter what we think we're accomplishing when we're lying. We're not accomplishing what we think we are. And in hindsight, we think she might have been talking to those disciples
that makes so much sense.
Misled the world about what the Christ presence had actually said.
That's
and
true.
They thought they were doing a good thing. They were doing it with good intent. I feel absolutely
I don't feel any bad intent.
Yeah,
it feels like all good intent.
100% good intent. And that's why Miriam was saying it doesn't matter what you think you're accomplishing when you're lying. You aren't accomplishing what you think you are.
That's true.
Does this answer the question? That goes up in that whoosh that I think means, yes, that's done. Nobody else is going to say anything.
Yeah, that's true. Our next question comes from an anonymous viewer who asks, why, when I try to research the Vanovanov family online, the only results are your videos? I can't seem to find any writings about the family.
Who's going to answer this, friend? Higher, higher, higher. There is a presence here who has affiliation with the Vanovanov family.
That's true.
And they're saying that's just absolutely impossible, that there are no writings about the Vanovanovs. And it's a room full of higher presences up there, a space, an energetic space, and
that's
somebody
true.
else. They're kind of shouting out ideas, and somebody's saying, what about the Library of Alexandria, which burnt? And they're saying that there are references, but they don't think it's possible that they're not accessible. They really don't. They just
That's
think
true.
you must have overlooked something. And these two host lives have been trying for 4 years,
Oh gosh,
maybe.
yeah, maybe 4 years.
Maybe 4 years to find other references. And we have not
That's true.
been successful, although we haven't made it a full-time occupation because there's a lot of other plates spinning also.
That's true.
We've not found anything, which doesn't
No.
mean that everything is online. For example,
That's
if we were to maybe try to find our transcripts from University of Florida, they might not be available because we graduated in 79.
That's
They
true.
might not be online. And so it's possible that there were older writings that have simply not been uploaded or are not
That's true.
easily available. There is somebody else who seems to be waiting for the hubbub to die down. It might be Pan.
It could be Pan, the guardian of the nature realm.
Guardian of the nature realms. And the wonderful thing about listening to Pan is that he's somewhat of an outsider to the spirit world community.
That's true.
And sometimes outsiders can see things more clearly than members of a community.
That's true.
And he does not concur with the assessment that there might be writing somewhere that we've been overlooking.
No, he does not.
His position, let's see if we can get it. His position, and he's saying it as if he has stated it many times before, is that the Vanovanovs have been way too hands off.
That's what he said.
That they have delegated way too much divine authority to the local, and he is calling them hoodlums.
That is what he's saying.
And that the local hoodlums have driven this into the ditch. That's what Pan is saying. And we can see his point of view. We're looking at a sky right now that has not had any birds in it all day.
That's true.
It's not that there are no birds, because there are still little birds hiding in the trees, but the flocks are gone. More than 50% of non-human life has now been destroyed, and so we can see why Pan's position would be the divine presences affiliated with Ground Zero planet Earth have driven it into the ditch.
That's true.
And he thinks that the Vanovanovs have been completely abdicating responsibility for far too long, and that it's an embarrassment to them. He's on a roll.
Yes.
It's an embarrassment to them that there are no writings found about them, and if they want to continue to argue with their position of not being too hands-off, then they don't seem to want to learn from this experience. That's what Pan says, and I guarantee you that a load of poo is going to fall on him because he said that.
Oh, yeah.
But it needed to be said, and so he said it, and good for him, and that's what a warrior does. And so to that person who asked about warriors, look at that guy. Do it like him. And I don't know who said that, but it was somebody else.
That's true. In that higher dimension.
In that higher dimension
godly
room.
presences.
Godly presences. It's Leo.
Yeah, that's who it is.
And that divine presence who spoke up for Pan just now is himself a Vanovanov, and he's one of the very best.
That's
The
true.
very best of the best. Does that answer the question? Oh yeah. That answers the question. Okay, how much is left?
4 questions left.
And we have a low battery.
On the camera, it's a low battery signal.
Okay. Well, friends, we have more questions than battery, so we're going to have to say goodbye for today. We appreciate very much the questions and answers, and we remember that these divine presences do not actually have to help us personally, any of us personally. They do have responsibility for the planet, but so do each of us, and we don't see humans doing what they committed to doing.
That's true.
And so we can be grateful for their time and their energy and their generosity with their wisdom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.